Hello, everybody. Hope you are doing well today. Decided to go live today. No reason for it, no rhyme, no reason. Just wanted to do it. Kind of get back on the live scene, start seeing you guys from a little bit. Maybe we can get some questions rolling. Gonna try to start doing 3 live shows a week, man. So that's what's up. Um, but I do want to say, uh, thank you for joining me, or thank you for listening. And and just welcome to all the welcome to all the people listening on the podcast as well. I know there's people all around the world listening, and I'm really thankful for that. I am going live though still, so I hope you catch it one way or another. This is on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter as well. Also recording the podcast as we go right now. So for what it's worth, pretty good little thing going on last night. I liked the game. I didn't come out ahead in the betting world. Not the best betting week for me, but hey, that's betting, man. If you think you're going to have 16 great weeks all the time, you're probably working with the pool of people, which is what we're trying to do over here. Or, you just got extremely lucky. It's hard to do. Week 5 is going to be amazing. But before we do that, let's cap off week 4. 2 teams now 3-1. Los Angeles Chargers 28, Las Vegas Raiders 14. The Chargers came out stomping them, man. The Raiders had more penalty yards than they had actual yards in the first half. So that's what they call a negative first half. That was not a good recipe to win. The Chargers defense, I didn't really believe that Coach Staley was that good. He is. He's the real deal. He's doing a good job over there. And the truth is, Lombardi and him are working well. Coach Lombardi brought that. It just dawned on me last night watching that game. It's like, why? What's going on with the Saints offense, and then all of a sudden the Chargers offense is really good, Well, Austin Eckler is like an Alvin Kamara. They're both really similar running backs to me. Eckler might be pound for pound stronger. That's what they call it, right? Pound for pound, which is a great boxing term, and why not incorporate it into the football world? I think that's just as good as well. And he probably is that, dude. He probably is that pound for pound kind of guy. But then you have Mike Williams, big receiver, lengthy, can catch it. He didn't do anything last night. Austin Eckler caught a few passes for 50 yards. Let's go back and look at that real quick, actually. Let's start with the winning team, like we said. Justin Herbert, 25 of 38 for 222 and 3 touchdowns. Amazing, man. Eckler had 117 yards on the ground. Roundtree carried it 11 times for 31 yards. Jared Cook caught 6 for 70. He was the leading receiver on that team. And see, this is my point with PPR. This is why PPR makes me mad. Keenan Allen had 7 receptions. He was by far the most targeted player on their team. And he only got 36 yards. But because he caught those 7 receptions for 36 yards, all of a sudden he has 10.6 points. That just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me that he caught like dump off valves. He gets 7 points for that. Whenever he got more points for his catches. He got double the points for his catches that he did with his yards. That's why I'm not a PPR guy. That just doesn't cut it for me. And it kind of sucks when I go back and look at teams. I'm like, man, he only got 3.6 yards for me in my league of record or whatever, because he didn't get any, he didn't do anything to really help his team sustain drive. I think one of those was a first down. So why are we rewarding that with a full point? It's kind of dumb to me. Austin Eckler, 3 for 28. Steven Anderson, 1 for 34. Justin Jackson, 4 for 17. Another guy that got 5.7 points and he only had 17 yards of production. That just doesn't make sense to me. Newton, 1 for 9. Leading tacklers, Michael Davis, 4-1. Derwin James had 3 of 3. That's an interception, by far the stud of the game. Nasir Adderley had 2 and 3. Asante Samuel, 3-1. I was going to take that bet. That was his line, 3.5. I stayed off of it because I just didn't know what to happen. Kyler Frackle, 2 and a sack. Jerry Tillery, 2 and a sack. Joey Bosa, just a sack. Christian Covington, a sack. They got to Derek Carr often. That offensive line was exposed. That defense showed people that they're a little better than people thought. I mean, I didn't give the Chargers that much credit, Kaiser White, really popular, 3 tackles, 1 assist. Let's see, punt returns, kicking, 4 extra points. That's all they needed. No field goals. KJ Hill, 2 for 20. Let's switch it over to the Raiders. Carr went 21 for 34, 196, 2 touchdowns and an interception. Awful stat line. There's a bunch of bad passes. There are drops. If he would have just caught up with Ruggs on that last one, it would have been a different ball game. But, If this were fists, we'd all be drunk. That's how it goes. The the Raiders have no offensive rush. The Barber game last week was an outlier. He had 1 carry for 0 yards. Drake had 1 carry for 2 yards. Derek Carr had 3 kind of semi-scrambles for 6 yards. And then Joshua Jacobs had 13 for 40, adding to 48 total rushing yards. That's pathetic. You don't win ball games like that. Henry Ruggs had 3 catches for 60. Darren Waller, 4 for 15, a touchdown. Hunter Renfrow, the real star, 6 for 45 and a touchdown. And see, that's how you get production. I had Hunter Renfrow in last night against Jonathan Abram and Kaiser White. And, Abram had 4 tackles and 4 assists, so he had a damn good game. And I was already behind. So enter Hunter Renfrow. He had 45 yards in the touchdown. Plus, we do return yards. He had 22 return yards, so that's good for about 1.25 points. That's how you do it. Make people earn these points. I had to earn that victory. I didn't get to just cruise to that victory because Hunter Renfrow had led his team in receptions with 6. If I had done that, it would have been a 9-point victory, but I had to squeak it out, or it would have been an 8.9 victory. Instead, it's a 2.9 victory. We're going to have to wait for the stat corrections to come out because God knows how many tackles changed. It's really bizarre, and that makes it more exciting. Instead of it just being a blowout, now it's competition. Hunter Renfrow had to earn those points. He had to get that touchdown for me to win, and that made it exciting. That was the game of the week for you people that play in the Sleeper League. Know that I write a game a week, for every league that I'm in pretty much. And that was the one I picked against my old rival, my old friend, my friend that knocked me out of the playoffs. He hasn't been in the league for 3 years. I said, hey, it's year 10. We upped the ante. We're giving out weekly money to the highest scorer. Get your ass back in here. And he did. And I'm really thankful for you, Josh, for doing that. And our game came down. Our games are always battles, man. We went to our first NFL game together, watched Aaron Rodgers throw 5 touchdowns in the first half. Against Houston in a Monday Night Football game. It was amazing. But Hunter Renfrow, bring it back to PPR. Yeah, I could have breezed through it if I would have had PPR. I had the guy with the most receptions, but he had to earn it. He had to get the 45 yards in the touchdown to get me the win, and that's the way you do it. Josh Jacobs, 5 catches, 17 yards. See, what's the point of Josh Jacobs having 6.7 points on 17 receiving yards? That's just stupid. Zay Jones, 1.5. Willie Snead, 115. Took a bad hit. I hope he's okay. Corey Littleton, what a stud. Denzel Perryman, what a stud. Oh, they each had 8 tackles and 4 assists. Why didn't I bet on that prop? Jonathan Abram, like I said, 4-4. Trevon Morig Woodard, the rookie from TCU, I believe. He had 4. He was out for a while, too, so good to see that he made it back. Hobbs, right. That secondary is a little banged up. Casey Hayward had 2. Let's keep an eye on that going forward with the Raiders playing next week, and they have a banged-up secondary and a bad offensive line. Let's keep that in mind as we move forward for the next week. All right, let's go look at some players, man. That's what we're all about over here, right here. And all this will be based off of, like I said, off of the Sleeper Fantasy Football Sevens Charity League. A lot of people are loving it. Thank you, guys. A lot of people never played IDP. A lot of people never played with defenses being scored in the correct format. Boom, Fantasy Football Sevens is fixing all that for you. All right, let's take a look at the best fantasy production. And this is after let's see, man. Why does Sleeper always jam up on the computer? Sleeper, you guys got to fix that. I know you are a phone app predominantly, but we've got to fix the computer experience. I can't even look at my best ball teams on Sleeper. Come on now. Let's go, Sleeper. Get with it. It's just, I'm old school like this. I like to use my computer while I'm sitting here recording the live stream for all the beautiful people, and we can sit here and talk about who had the best performances. This is very important. You need to track who has the best performance, because if your guy has the best, if he's the best at his position in any given week, let me tell you something. You're going to have a better chance of winning that week. You're going to have a better chance of getting that W that week. It's all about getting the W's at the end of the week. Who cares if you have the most points and you had less wins and more losses? That doesn't tell me anything. It tells me you had a couple good weeks probably, and all your rest of your weeks were garbage. We're trying to get every week the consistent person that's just out here doing it for us, So let's go take a look real quick. I'm going to break it down. I was looking off a Sleeper, but it just always freezes up on my computer. So we'll just go to a pretty similar format, my League of Record format. Little less points for offensive players. and a little less points for the defense, but more or less the same. Week 4, let's take a look. And we're doing quarterback. No surprise here. Who was it? All players. Who led everybody? I don't want the season. I want the week. I know that's not right. That person didn't have a good week. Yeah, there he is. Daniel Jones. 402 passing yards, 2 big bomb touchdowns, 1 interceptions, 27 rushing yards, 1 2-point conversion, good enough for 43.78. He did get a 3-point bonus for 400 yards, a 4-point bonus for a 40-yard touchdown pass, and a 6-yard bonus for a 50-yard. You get a big bomb like that, we just double it up, man. That's how it goes. So he got a huge bomb touchdown. Because they don't happen too much. You get those big plays that really work out. Cordell Patterson, my man, take him in a lot of best balls. I'm really glad he's the leading running back. Guess what? He only had 34 rushing yards. You're not going to see that stat too often. I guarantee it. 34 rushing yards, leading all running backs. Why? Because he had 82 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns, and 78 return yards. Good enough for 36.8. What was the bonus? The bonus is probably just the return yards. Let's see here. Let's take a look. 40-yard touchdown bonus, 2 points. Oh, so yeah, Daniel Jones had 2 of those, man. That's amazing, dude. That is simply amazing. Cordell Patterson, go get him. I told you week 1, go get him. I told you week 2, go get him. Probably not there, but if he's still somehow available on your waiver wire, go get him. Let's see, Tyreek Hill, what a monster. 186 yards, 3 touchdowns, good enough for 40.6. And that's, I'm pretty sure he had a bomb. He had a 40-yard bomb, and he got the 100 through 199-yard bonus as well. You should have those in your leagues. Go do that. If you don't want to do a big touchdown bonus, I understand that. But I recommend you at least doing 100 yards. I mean, that's a hard work to get to 100 yards now. You need to be recording that. For example, the leading tight end had 95 yards and 2 touchdowns, good enough for 21.5 points. If he'd have just got 5 more yards, he'd have had that big bonus, and it would have moved it up. But 21 points is always good from the tight end. You're not going to complain about that. Leading kicker, welcome back, Mr. Tyler Bass. 4 PATs made, 3 field goals, 20 through 29, and 130 through 39, 18.5 points. My guy Matt Prater wasn't far behind with 16. Best defense of the week, no surprise here. Welcome back, Buffalo Bills. If you've noticed, they've had the higher kicker and the highest defense now twice. That's how you get consistency. That's how you win. 3 sacks, 4 interceptions, 1 fumble recovery off of a forced fumble, 44 return yards, 0 points. They put up that bullet on them. Anytime you put up a bullet now, that doesn't happen too much. It's only our second one this season. All right, I know we're 4 weeks in, but they were in sloppy weather and against good teams. You deserve to have a lot of points if you pitch a shutout in this league. And they only allowed 109 yards. Think about that. An NFL professional team went out there and barely put up 109 yards. Only put up 0 points. And if you probably take the Houston Texans penalty, they had an equivalent of less than 100 yards. You know how hard that is? That's hard to do in high school. That's really difficult to do in the NFL, okay? So kudos to the Buffalo Bills, 50.93 points. Quinnen Williams, welcome back, big boy. He's showing his game. He had some great games last week. And by the way, like I said, the top 5 defensive linemen that scored this week are all available in a 16-team league. Quinnen Williams, Randy Gregory, Michael Dana, Kamoku Toria, and Darius Falone. All those guys had 18 points or more, and all of them are available in this league. I'd be hesitant to go out there and get them. You know, we're going to have the article out. We'll look at some waiver wires after we get through with this on who we think we can get. But Quinnen Williams, he was good last year. He has major games. What I tell you, sacks come in bunches. All these guys that have the top 5, why do they have the top 5? They got 2 sacks. 2 sacks in 1 game. When you do that, you're going to have a high defensive line score. That's one of the main ways defensive linemen can score points. They don't get a lot of tackles. For example, these guys, if you take away their sacks, the leading tackles are 4, and that was Quinnen Williams. All the rest of these guys had 1 combined. Outside, you take away the sacks out of these 4 guys, 1 tackle. So that's how defensive linemen have to get points. You have to reward sacks well if you want your defensive linemen to get points. Quinnen Williams, 6 tackles, 1 assist, 2 sacks, 1 tackle for loss, 7 sack yards, 2 QB hits, good for 23.4. You know, like the defensive linemen's like the tight end. It's pretty much the exact same score. And you get the 4 points for the 2 sack bonus. They come in bunches. Most of the time you don't get one. Let's go over to the linebacker core. We got Quincy Williams, brother of Quinnen Williams. The 2 brothers were the leading The leading IDPs at their position. How cool is that? I don't think I've ever seen that. Quincy Williams had 10 tackles, 2 assists, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss, 9 sack yards, 1 pass defended, 1 QB hit, good for 29.3 points. CJ Mosley finished right behind him. He was one of the IDP props of the week I told you guys about. Feel safe about it. He was going to get to know Derrick Henry. It looks like both of these guys got to know Derrick Henry. But he had 10 tackles, 3 assists, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, 6 sack yards, and 1 quarterback hit. 27.7. So those New Jersey linebackers, we're going to be talking about those guys when we get to talking about the London game, which won't be today, but we will be talking about it. CJ Mosley, also, like I said, Alec Ogletree, Joe Shoyinaka. He's a rookie from Tampa Bay. I have trouble saying his name. 2 sacks, great game. Corey Littleton, 9 tackles. Oh my God. More tackles on here. It's weird. The stats on here were different than Google. Remind you that they do change for a lot of leagues. Defensive back, hey, another guy I told you to go pick up and play. I told you to go pick him out of waiver wire. I told you the plug and play guy. And if you don't have him, that's fine. He's never available in my leagues because everybody knows about him. He's 8 tackles, 4 assists, 1 tackle for loss, good enough for 20.8 points. Talking about Malcolm Jenkins. The Saints, I don't know what happened. They did let it down in that game. I thought for sure I picked him in one of my survivor pools. I shouldn't have done that. Should have just put it all on Buffalo, because now I don't get to use that one at all. I was worried, well, I might need Buffalo for later, and I took the Saints, and I thought for sure would be a for sure game. Didn't happen that way. Malcolm Jenkins. So now let's look at some DBs worth adding. Kareem Jack. I think Kareem Jackson's pretty good. Let's see. I think Kareem Jackson's pretty good, like I said, and he's worth a roster add. I took his tackles on the over. He doubled it. It's pretty easy. Anthony Brown is getting constantly picked on. He's getting thrown at a lot. Therefore, he's getting a lot of tackles, but he's also able to get this passes defended. Like I said, 3 passes defended is really good. Go take a look at that. Anytime he gets thrown, if they catch it, he's more than likely getting the tackle. If they throw it at him and he deflects it, that's the pass defended, which should be worth some pretty good points, because the most you see in a game is most of the time 3. That's why we give a bonus for 3. I look at the top right now, top 12 DBs, nobody had more than 3. A lot of them had 0. That's hard, So Anthony Brown is worth the roster add. He constantly gets thrown against, because people aren't going to be throwing to Trayvon Diggs too much more. I mean, he's had an interception in every game. He's about to become one of these shutdown corners of the league. Eric Stokes, another rookie Brown's not a rookie, but Stokes is a rookie cornerback. He's placed the outside position for King. They moved King inside to help with run. He's actually done really quite well in that position, Kevin King has. But Eric Stokes constantly gets thrown out. I watch every snap from every Green Bay game every week. Excuse me. He gets thrown out a lot. A lot of people are testing him because they're not going to go test Jair Alexander. I'm sorry, you're not going to do that. You're not going to test Adrian Amos too much if he's locked up on a tight end either. Leaving you Eric Stokes to be the main number 1 read for this defense. He had 8 tackles. He had, what's this one stat? He had an interception this week, and he had 2 passes defended, 16 points. He's a weekly start kind of guy. I think you can plug and play because he's going to see a lot of volume. That's just the truth. He's just going to see a lot of volume, man. Lonnie Johnson, 5 tackles, 3 assists, 1 interception, 1 pass defended, 32 yards. So if Houston's going to keep seeing a lot of defensive snaps because their offense can't muster more than 110 yards offensively, Lonnie Johnson is definitely worth an add. Desmond King, same thing. If those 2 guys, if Houston's going to be on the field a lot, they're going to Lovie Smith offense. A lot of stuff's going to be kind of kept underneath, Lovie Smith defense. Then they're going to have a lot of, cover 2, Tampa 2 style. Lonnie Johnson and Desmond King should have a lot of tackles going forward. So, right there, once again, Kareem Jackson, Denver, Anthony Brown, Dallas, Lonnie Johnson, Houston, Desmond King, Houston. 4 defensive backs. Linebackers, let's take a look. Quincy Williams already told you. If CJ Mosley somehow available, don't be scared to go get him. Corey Littleton, I like. For you, Alukukan, I love him. Atlanta linebacker. He had 6 solo tackles, 6 assisted tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 1 sack, even better. 2 passes defended, and 1 passes defended and 2 QB hits. You gotta love that, man. There ain't nothing not to love about that. Matt Judon, I told you guys about him last week. If he's available, go get him. I went and snagged him in a couple leagues. Eric Wilson continues to be a force. Harold Landry had a pretty good game. I think he's going to be able to keep that up. Rashawn Gary, man, he's just becoming more and more of a stud for the Packers. got the sack. If you need a good edge rusher guy, linebacker depth coming up, Rashawn Gary's worth taking a look at. Jordan Brooks, I've been telling you guys about a long, long time. I've liked him since I've seen him at Texas Tech. Devondre Campbell covered the tackle count for us. He had 5 and 4. If he's available, we go get him. He's a double-digit guy every week. High volume, high volume, high volume. Defensive lineman, let's take a look. Quentin Williams, absolutely. Randy Gregory, yeah, go take a look at him if you need some help. Sebastian Joseph Day is just constantly there. I think it helps having Aaron Donald beside you. It's an old IDP trick. Who's the best defensive player? Let's go get the player right beside him. Daniela Hunter, I've told you guys about him. He's pretty good to go. Hargrove had a bad, 12 points. Don't feel bad about it. Christian Wilkins, he was on the list last week. Go get him. Jonathan Allen, if he's still available in your league, go get him. Calais Campbell, he doesn't really have that many big games, but Everson Griffin's getting in the sack streak now. Let's go take a look at Everson Griffin for the Minnesota Vikings. Him and Daniela Hunter are wrecking havoc. Some good defensive linemen to think about. Defenses, Chargers, go get them. They're worth an ad. The Jets are playing Atlanta. I don't know. I'm still staying away from it. Colts against Baltimore, no way. Let's see here. Seattle's been a pretty bad defense, but they're playing they're playing the Rams. Yeah, I wouldn't go get them. Let's see here. New England, Seattle. Yeah, Dallas is playing New York. That might be a stretch too. There's some tough defenses out there, but I think you're safe with the Chargers. If you want to go get them. Washington football team could have a decent game. Let's go take a look at them as well. They were finishing awful. Kickers, I've already told you guys, Suck Up, Prater, Bass, if they're available, go get them. I don't know how I feel about Matt Amendola. Pass on him. Chase McLaughlin, I really like Browns kicker. Graham Gano, probably going to be in for a busy game this week against Dallas. Go take a look. All right, let's look at tight ends. Yeah, CJ Usumov, he's available. Go get him. Mo Alley Cox is a guy I grabbed in a lot of best ball with my last pick. If he's available, maybe you want him. I wouldn't expect that production all the time, but the truth is Carson Wentz loves his tight ends, man. He loves them. So Mo Alley Cox is, as you saw, he's an end zone threat. He's a very big body down there. He doesn't get a lot of looks, gets forgotten in coverages. Excuse me. So I think he's a good ad. Jared Cook, if he's available, he shouldn't be. Go take a look. Max Williams, man, I almost went and got him last week because I needed a tight end. Instead, I went and got dropped Ertz, and picked up Hooper, who had such an awful week. But Max Williams, that Arizona offense is just high volume. He's had an off week. He had a 0.7, then he had a 9.4, then he had a 1.9, then he had a 12.6. That's the problem with the Arizona players. Somebody's going to have to catch touchdowns, and it's probably not going to be the same player every time. Dalton Schultz, that's where my waiver wire pick was at. I really wanted him. It looks like he's just completely outshined Blake Jarwin down there. So don't hesitate for that to go get Dalton Schultz. So that pass-happy offense, Dak Prescott, what's there not to like? Juwan Johnson still catching touchdowns. If you need a deep guy, take a look. Blake Jarwin had one, but it was just that one catch. That's pretty much the ones you want to be worried about. Johnny Smith, I wouldn't. The tight ends are worth an ad, but they just don't get a lot of volume, and there's 2 of them. John Ross, I don't know. DeAndre Carter, I don't know. Randall Cobb, maybe. Khalif Raymond, maybe. Those are worth some ads. Darrell Mooney, if he's still available, do it. Marquise Brown, go trade for him. Van Jefferson, definitely worth the ad. It's not consistent, but like I said, having a wide receiver on that Rams offense is always nice. Jamison Crowder, if you didn't go get him, go get him. Hunter Renfro, also take a look. LaVisca Chalnut, also take a look. I just dropped him, of course. That's why he did so good. You're welcome, everybody. And then running backs. That's Cordell Patterson, of course, if he's available. Don't F around. You need to go get Williams, the backup running back for Chicago. It's also another good ad to take a look at. Ezekiel Elliott. I don't know why people were so on the fence about him. He looks great to me, man. I don't know what y'all were talking about. I wasn't as fearful of him at all. Chase Edmonds, if he's available, go get him. Kenneth Gainwell, somebody I drafted. If he's available, go get him. Kareem Hunt, take a look. Leonard Fournette. Yeah, Damian Williams is now questionable too. Holy smokes. Dealing with thigh bruise. They may be on their 3rd string running back this week. They're playing Las Vegas. Las Vegas, you better win that game. No running game, backup quarterback. No reason not to. Joe Mixon, that looked kind of serious. Let's keep an eye. Low-grade ankle sprain day to day. Let's hope he doesn't play. That would be a huge help for the Packers nation. J.D. McKissic, I don't know why people don't like him. Is he getting all the huge points right now? No, but if you are in need and you need a third running back, or your running back goes down like some of these guys have, if you're a Joe Mixon owner, or if you're a David Montgomery owner, go take a look at J.D. McKissic. He's more than serviceable. Zach Moss too, but I've been on the McKissic train a while now, and he's kind of has one good week, one bad week. But I just don't get why Washington doesn't give him the ball more. The game they won when they needed the game won, who won it? McKissic. He went and got the touchdown and got the yards for him and put that game away. When they needed this big play, they threw like a check down pass that he wasn't even supposed to be the main receiver to. He threw it across the field, back to the middle of the field. McKissic caught it and just put on the boosters. Like, if you can go watch that replay, it's by far my favorite play of the week. I mean, that he's not the tallest guy, and you can tell when a runner is starting to really push that extra little bit, and he's running, and you can see it with those bursts whenever he's moving his upper body, and then he goes full on flying through the air, Mr. Spatman, and just extends and barely gets it to get his team the victory. McKissic is a baller. He's a football player. And I don't know. It's just like with Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't know what took them so long to realize, Trevor Lawrence isn't ready. Let's give the ball to James Robinson, who carried 1,000 yards, almost broke rookies as an undrafted free agent running back. I mean, they went back to that formula. They didn't win, but it was a lot better. And supposedly Trevor Lawrence, when he got stuffed on 4th and 1, he was supposed to give it to Robinson. And that probably would have changed the outcome of that game tremendously. Some of these coaches will get it. I don't know what Ron Rivera is doing. I mean, Gibson's good, don't get me wrong, but get the ball in the hands to the guy who wins you the game, and his name's McKissic. All right, it's super simple. Clutch touchdown, unbelievable. Go get McKissic. Don't be scared about it. All right, is he going to get you the biggest week every week? No, but is he better than probably almost everything else out there? Yeah, go do it. Don't hesitate, baby. Let's go get the quarterback conversation going. It's hard. I just traded Sam Darnold. So if Sam Darnold, for some reason, is available in your league, go get him. Daniel Jones is available, go get him. Tyler Heineke, go get him. But I would only get him if you can go put Ryan Fitzpatrick on your IR spot. Trey Lance probably going to start. If you need a quarterback, go get him. Zach Wilson, I don't know what to think about the lunging game with Zach Wilson. He's so young. It's like that can go one or two ways. Is he going to play really well and go out there and be excited, or is he going to have jet lag and not be used to traveling as much and, just being in a new country, man? Anytime you go from one country to another, particularly across an ocean, you're getting all kinds of new bacterias and all kinds of stuff that's, more or less your body's not used to. And that can affect you, man. That can affect you. I would stay away. Jared Goff may be worth the look. Didn't have the greatest of games, but they're going to be playing from behind so much. So much. Carson Wentz, too. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up over here. You know how I like to end the show. I appreciate it, man. This is going to become more and more of a normal thing. I'm going to try to get everybody to check it out, the show. We're going to be going live, changing up the booth. Be here, there. We got different backgrounds. But hit me up with any of your start sit questions. Definitely going to be going live Thursdays and start to help you out on your lineup. We're going to do some betting. Big week for London betting, guys. Let's take a look at that. My UK guys, I love you, boys. All right, here's for you. Have a good Tuesday, man. Start the day out right. Hopefully you got a W. Hey, listen to me. It don't matter if you're 0-4 either, baby. We got 10 more weeks before the playoffs start. Let's just, focus on week 5. What do we got to do to win this week? This is a big week, all right? Here we go. Cheers. IDP Iggy out.